Adding and subtracting mixed numbers can be kind of scary. It's a little bit more difficult than just adding and subtracting fractions. In this situation, we have 1 1/3 plus 2 whole and 2/3. This one's pretty easy, and with adding, we can get away with not changing mixed numbers into improper fractions every time. You could do it that way, but for this one, we could just add the whole numbers, and that'll be 3. And then we add the fractions. 1/3 plus 2/3 is 3/3. And so our answer is 3 whole and 3/3. It would look a lot better if we simplify this answer and recognize that 3/3 is actually another whole. So we've got 3 and another whole. So the answer is a total of 4. So 1 1/3 plus 2 2/3 is equal to 4, which should make sense if you count up the top. On the top, we've got 3 whole, and then if I take this red one and I fill it in here, we'll see that we have the 4th whole. So the total is 4. On this one, it's getting a little bit more difficult. We don't have a picture, and we don't have common denominators. So let's worry about first adding the whole numbers. 1 and 2 make 3. Now let's worry about adding the fractions. We've got 3/5 plus 1/3. We need to have common denominators. So we think about what number can 5 and 3 make. What's their least common multiple? And that's 15. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3 and this one by 5, so that this new fraction here will be 9/15 plus 5/15, making a total of 14/15. So our final answer is 3 whole and 14/15. Again, we're getting harder. We're subtracting. Here we have a harder one. It's subtraction. And typically when I do subtraction, because I'm going to have to maybe borrow sometimes, I decide just to always change them to improper fractions. So this first one is going to be 25/4. The second one is going to be 20/6. Now we have a problem. We have different denominators. We need to find common denominators. So we need to find the least common multiple. And the least common multiple for 4 and 6 is 12. So 3 times 4 makes 12. And 6 times 2 makes 12. So my new fractions are 75 out of 12 minus 40 out of 12, giving an answer of 35 out of 12. And that's a correct answer, but it looks kind of ugly. So what I really am going to want to do is change it to a mixed number. And I do that by saying how many 12s go into 35. I'm dividing. 12 goes into 35 2 whole times. 2 times 12 is 24. And if I take that from the 35, I'll see that I have a remainder of 11, and the denominator stayed the same. Here's a strange one. Couple ways of dealing with this. One way to do it would be to change these both into fractions that have common denominators. Well, I can change 4 into a fraction by putting it over 1. And I can change this one into an improper fraction by multiplying and then adding. So this one's going to be 13 fifths. And this is still 4 over 1. I can find common denominators. Well, a 1 can be turned into a 5, so I'm going to multiply that by 5. So I got 20 over 5 minus 13 over 5 equaling 7 fifths. Or I can change that now to a mixed number. 5 goes into 7 one whole time with 2 left over and a denominator of 5.